Pathetic. Yes, pathetic. The state of our democracy, the state of our politics, there is no other word for it. Our politicians, I'm not an expert on American history, but at first glance I think it's safe to say our current batch of ruling elite toadies are among the most mediocre, uncreative, lackluster, uninspiring, duplicitous, hypocritical, and too often shamelessly malevolent bottom dwellers ever to appear on our political stage. The entire Republican Party is evidence enough on that side of the aisle. Comparing any of them with the real public servants in their rich tradition makes guys like Pence, Ryan, and Trump look like a sick joke. Ever heard of Abraham Lincoln? Now look at the latest public relations fiasco by the Democratic Party, a desperate attempt to reverse their flagging fortunes, their catastrophic loss of voter confidence, their loss of the House and Senate, their loss of the majority of state legislatures, and their loss of the majority of governor seats, and to repair their self-inflicted but warranted reputation as the left wing of the Republican Party. Plagiarizing the Democratic Party of old, thus making a mockery of FDR's historical and widely admired New Deal, they've just assembled a new platter of mildewy cliches, moldy slogans, stale platitudes and empty promises, a decomposing menu of already past their expiration date overtures to their former base, once loyal working and middle-class voters, under the banner of a better deal. Better than what? The art of the deal by Trump or the raw deal of the Republicans? They're really setting their sights high, eh? We're the better bottom dwellers. That anyone pays attention to these master prevaricators is a miracle in its own right. We must all be masochists or pathologically gullible. But don't fret. There's hope in the midst of this mass of toxic sludge clogging our electoral machinery. Along comes the grassroots, voter-based initiative called CFAR. CFAR stands for Contract for American Renewal. But it's more than a contract, much more than a legal device. It's a paradigm-shifting, game-changing way to introduce honesty, integrity, transparency, and accountability into our electoral process, putting people, the vast majority of U.S. citizens, back in the driver's seat. It's government by the people. It's real representative democracy. The CFAR is the new standard by which we judge whether a candidate is worthy for office. The CFAR includes only initiatives that are supported by a minimum of 62% of citizens. Most are in the 75 to 80% range. The CFAR is a citizens-based populist strategy. The CFAR requires in writing from any candidate who signs it that they will faithfully serve those who vote them into office. No questions asked. They either do the job or they find themselves back on the street. Just read the contract. It's clear and unambiguous. The CFAR takes the guesswork out of voting. Every initiative in the CFAR is supported by huge majorities. If a candidate signs it, they are clearly on the side of the people. They are guaranteeing in writing that they will be doing the bidding of their constituents from the day they arrive in Washington, D.C. Thus, they deserve our support and our votes. The CFAR, as a populist electoral strategy, targets neoliberal establishment candidates for defeat, and more importantly, it decisively positions people's candidates, progressive populists, to win, arming them with an ironclad strategic weapon to take on and crush their corrupt pay-for-play opponents. The CFAR exposes the phonies and frauds. Voters are tired of shallow campaign rhetoric, vaporous sound bites, empty campaign promises. If a candidate refuses to sign the CFAR, it means two things. One, he or she is not on the side of the people. Two, this candidate does not deserve to get elected. Voters will run from non-CFAR candidates like they're infected with the plague. We want this election to mean something. We want the voice of the people, now silenced by big money and autocratic control of the media in both major parties, to be heard and be instrumental in finally electing a Congress that works for the everyday citizen, not just the ruling elite, not corporate kleptocrats, Wall Street, the big banks, and transnational corporations. Forget about the better deal and the raw deal. You want a Congress that works for the people? You want public servants that serve the public? You want a Congress which is not in the pockets of fat cat campaign donors, not lapdogs of the ruling class, not doormats for the military-industrial security complex? Then only vote for a candidate who has signed the CFAR. CFAR candidates are the real deal.